All right, let's talk about money. It feels so complicated, right? But what if I told you we could explain the whole thing with something as simple as a dog's bone? Okay, so let me ask you a question right off the bat. Imagine you got just one bone, a really good one. What do? Do you chew it right now, or do you bury it for later? Seriously, what's your first instinct?
You see, that question is so important because that bone, well, that's money. It's really that simple. And that little choice you just made in your head, chew now or save for later, that is literally the foundation for every single financial decision you will ever make.
So let's break this down a bit. Pretty much everything we do with our money, earning it, spending it, saving it, it can all be understood with this bone analogy. Let's get into it.
First up, earning. This one's easy. Every time you get a paycheck, you've just been given a bone. It's a resource, and it's all yours to control. Simple as that.
And saving? Well, that's when you decide to bury the bone. You're making a choice not to enjoy it right now because you're thinking, hey, future me might need this more. You're playing the long game.
And then, of course, there's spending. You guessed it, that's when you chew the bone. You're using that resource right here, right now for something you want or need. It's that immediate satisfaction.
But here's the catch, right? If you only ever chew your bones the second you get them, what happens down the line? If every single bone is gone immediately? Well, future you is going to get pretty hungry. There's nothing left for later.
Okay, so earning, spending, saving, it all seems pretty straightforward. But the real world adds a little twist to our story, a complication that makes having a plan even more crucial. Let's talk about inflation. So picture this. Suddenly, there are bones everywhere, piles of them on every corner. You can't even walk down the street without tripping over them. When there are just so many of them around, how special is any one bone anymore? You see, when a bone is rare, it's a huge deal. It's incredibly valuable. But when it's just one in a giant, endless pile, not so much. The value of each individual bone goes way down. It's all about scarcity.
And that, my friends, is exactly what inflation is. It's when there's so much money, so many bones floating around that each one just feels less special. It buys you less. That bone you so carefully buried, it's still a bone, but maybe now it only gets you half a chew.
So given all this, you need to save for the future, but inflation makes saving tricky. What does a smart dog do? How do you navigate all this? Well, it's not just about getting more bones. It's about having a plan for them.
And this is really the most important part. The best approach isn't just reacting. Smart dogs don't just chew bones whenever they feel like it. No, they plan their bones. So what does a good plan look like? It really boils down to three things. 1, know when to chew. That's knowing when it's right to spend. 2, know when to save, when you should bury that bone for a bigger goal. And 3, and this one's really important, know when to share.
And that's the ultimate takeaway here. At the end of the day, the goal isn't just to have the biggest pile of bones imaginable. Real wealth isn't the pile itself. It's the wisdom to know what to do with it. It's that balance between chewing, saving, and sharing.
Which brings this whole thing right back to you. We started with one simple choice, and now you can see the whole picture. So the only question left is, what's the plan for your bones?